Hey guys, welcome back. In the last video, I talked about my favorite Ontario parks to visit, and now we're going national. There are 48 national parks in Canada, and 6 of them are right here in Ontario. Obviously, the more popular national parks in Canada are the ones in the Rocky Mountains, like Jasper and Banff. But Ontario's parks are beautifully spectacular. I've visited all 6 in Ontario, 2 of them just last year. And if you're from the city, then you should know that 5 of the 6 are within a 3-hour drive of Toronto, which makes them super accessible to most of the population in the province. So let's dive in and explore these parks. Rouge Peninsula National Park was established in 1987 and is probably the most popular of national parks in Ontario. Its dramatic cliffs surrounded by the turquoise waters of Georgian Bay make it a rugged, picturesque place. And further inland, the park actually turns into a forest with wetlands and cedar groves and lots of trails. The main attraction of Rouge Peninsula National Park is the Grotto, a scenic cave containing a pool of blue water. This rock formation is marvelous, and there is no wonder that this park gets busy just to see it. You won't want to miss hiking the Bruce Trail that runs along the escarpment and the views, of course, that come along with it. I also want to take a quick minute to talk about the adjacent Fathom 5 National Marine Park. So it's one of 3 marine parks in Canada, and it protects the archipelago. I love that word. Archipelago. Anyway, it protects the archipelago around Tobermory. So visiting Flower Pot Island is a magical experience, and I'll be talking about how to camp there in a later video. Moving on. Georgian Bay Islands National Park near Muskoka encompasses the largest freshwater archipelago in the world. It consists of 63 islands, the largest of which is Beausoleil Island, and that's where you can find most of the camping and the hiking. Actually, I think it's the only place you can, anyway. So this national park can only be accessed by boat. So you'll have to grab like a water taxi from many of the places in Honey Harbor, or you can actually grab the park's day tripper from Honey Harbor. There are plenty of hiking trails on Beausoleil Island. There's a lighthouse, a beach, a lookout, and a mysterious stone chair. Oh, and even though it's an island, there are bears. So just be aware of that. It's a ton of fun to camp here, and if you've never backcountry camped before, Georgian Bay Islands National Park is an excellent way to ease yourself into it. You can stand at the most southern point of the mainland in Canada, at the very tip of Point Pelee National Park near Windsor. Point Pelee National Park is a hotspot for migrating birds and butterflies, and it's one of the most ecologically diverse regions and one of the smallest national parks in Ontario, covering only 15 square kilometers. So this park, which was formed in 1918, juts out like a V into Lake Erie, and you can follow the road all the way to the visitor center and then hop on a little shuttle to take you to the tip. The eastern side of the park is all marshland, which you can actually rent canoes to go paddle in. Point Pelee National Park is also a dark sky preserve, but they don't really have a campground. They do have a few authentics, covered like fabric tents that you can stay in. And it's also one of the only spots in Canada where you can stand on the 42nd parallel, which is kind of cool for geography nerds like me. Located along the shores of Lake Superior near Marathon, Pukasau National Park has some of the most beautiful and dramatic landscapes of Northern Ontario. As the largest of national parks in Ontario, Pukasau protects nearly 1,900 square kilometers of gorgeous Canadian Shield and shoreline of Lake Superior. Pukasau is also the least accessible. It's nearly 12 hours of driving from Toronto to get there, almost 4 hours from Thunder Bay, and 5 hours from Sault Ste. Marie. It also feels the most remote, So most of the time you'll hear nothing but the crash of waves against the shore or a call of a bird or an animal. And you can forget about cell signal here. Throughout the park, you'll see the connection between the Anishinaabe First Nations and the Pukasah National Park. You'll learn a lot about the people and the culture that calls this place home. Pukasah National Park offers some of the best hiking in Ontario, and no matter which trail you take, you will not be disappointed. But if you're up for a larger trip, then you'll want to take the 18-kilometer hike to White River Suspension Bridge via the Coastal Hiking Trail. Getting to White River Suspension Bridge is no easy task. It takes about 6 to 9 hours, depending on how fast you walk. But the view at the suspension bridge, well, it's unbeatable. The long, arduous trek to get there is absolutely worth it. But just to note, you can't actually book a campsite in Pukasah, in advance, I mean. It's first come, first served system. And I explain a whole gamut of what to know about Pukasah National Park in a blog post. So I'll link that down in the description box below. Rouge National Urban Park is the only national park in Ontario that is confined within city limits. The park is actually quite large. It's 80 square kilometers, and that's like the size of Disney World. But it's right in the heart of Toronto. Rouge National Urban Park is also the newest national park in Ontario, dating back to like the early 2000s. It's the largest urban protected land in North America, and it's 20 times larger than Central Park in New York City. And despite being an urban park, there actually have been sightings of wildlife here, especially black bears, so you'll want to be bear aware before you head out to hike the many trails that wind through this park. There will eventually be a campground here, but it's been closed for renovations for a couple of years. Hopefully next year, I think, is when they're planning to bring it back. Thousand Islands National Park is located near Kingston, protecting a biosphere at the mouth of St. Lawrence River. This park consists of islands and islets and 3 mainland properties, including the Visitor Center in Mallory Town Landing. While it's one of the smaller national parks in Ontario, it's the oldest. Thousand Islands National Park was established in 1904, and it was the first park created east of the Rocky Mountains. And this park is open from Victoria Day weekend to Thanksgiving Day weekend, and it's perfect for hiking and camping, and of course, paddling. You won't want to miss taking a cruise through this beautiful landscape, or maybe even camping on one of the many islands. Well, that's the list. Have you been to any of these parks? Let me know in the comments below. Each park is unique and you can enjoy it in so many different ways. I have a huge blog post about the national parks in Ontario. It'll help you figure out which park to visit and what to see when you get there. I go through the history of the national parks, the best viewpoints, the best hikes, where to stay, and a whole bunch of other information to help you decide. So you can check it out in the link below. That's it for this video. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos to help you plan, travel, and photograph. Until next time, catch you later.